Hey Josh,
Yeah,
how's it going, man?
good, good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Busy day. My computer glasses. See here. And this here. Wrong button. So do some more. So I'm thinking a couple things. We need to brainstorm. Put them as a kind of list here. So we have scene brainstorm. These are scenes we know we need to have. Expand that so we can get one line. There you go. One brainstorm is singular. There you go. Uh, story, brainstorm. I'll part to make them small on my screen. And there's one other one. I'm not sure about. I'm gonna say miscellaneous because I can't think of a name for it. And copy this text thing. So, for example, let me zoom in on this a little bit. Read it. Other part that needs to be. So one scene would be like the introduction of hostile tribal chief. I think there are certain characters we're going to need to kind of introduce, and so that's I can probably list several of these. So I introduce tribal chief, I introduce Jay, Tara, Jay. Oops. Hey. Say Tara kind of and husband and husband. That might be together, might not be, but we can probably merge them for now. So those are three introductions we definitely have to have. And then we also would have to have the
Got to
actual.
meet Jay's brother.
Yeah, actually, let's put it with the brother. That's a good point. Let me just put one of my here. Jay and brother. That may be together, maybe apart. We'll see, but Jay and brother. That's true. This one and then uh, tribal attack massacre that has to happen, obviously. And then
Got to see the kidnapping of Jay's brother and Jay, murder of Tara's husband.
I say I can also do is kind of separate these into acts a little bit. Act one. Find husband's body. What I do is kind of put these as kind of subsets of these, almost like an outline. And then this one's going to be a subset of immediate aftermath of attack. Yeah, let me move this down some a little bit. So these two go down there for now. Just put it for now. Put this kind of. Oh, I don't want other thing I want to do. So, the idea I had for the introduction of the hostile tribal chief is that we have aftermath of another attack of attack on another tribe. You see them kind of defeating them and kind of surveying what they've done. Something like that. Or so, some aftermath. It might not be actually still at the battle, it might be somewhere else, but it's kind of in that context of some sort. So you have that. So, and then during that, you see him kind of holding court, and that'd be his introduction. These, I don't know. These are going to be some, day in a lifetime stuff. I don't know. Yeah. So let me see. Actually, let me move this over here a little closer. It's too far away. And same with the other one. It's too far away. All right. So yeah. So I think my thought is that the first episode would revolve around Tara and her husband more so than as far as the story that we're using to give us insight into like what happened with the tribe before, before it gets attacked. And I'm thinking that story would surround Tara more so than Jay and his brother, especially if initially they're both kidnapped and and Tara's the one that sets off after them. So she kind of starts off with her kind of the main kind of initiator of action. And the next episode would be Jay kind of deciding to join her rather than go back home or something. But the first one is kind of about her. That seems more like, especially the ends on her reaction to what happened.
Okay, and so the second act is we're still like in the day of the life of Tara and a little bit of Jay as well.
Yeah, I think one thing that might be useful to brainstorm is what we want to show in general about the tropic. What do we want to share with the audience so that we can pattern a story that allows us to show it to them. If that makes sense. So a type of story that will allow us to do that.
So we're trying to also, I guess, we'd have to kind of lay some of the groundwork for things that would get introduced that pay off, I guess, in later episodes as well.
Well, sure, but I mean, I think that the key is just making sure we have something for this one. So I mean, honestly, the thing about that is honestly, you would, if we were doing like if we were sitting there literally trying to write a full 8 episode season, we would spend more time on the previous stage and have more stuff that we're trying to go into it. It's like for me, I feel like we can get stuck there for a long time. I think we have enough to do to break the story for the first episode, even if we might not, because I think a lot of those tidbits would be things in like dialogue and relatively minor things. Like you want to, like what's the nature of and some of the reasons behind the trader and stuff like that, that we don't know a lot about that. But I thought we had enough to try to figure out a story that surrounds Tara, her husband, maybe the chief of the tribe they're at right now, maybe intersect somehow with Jay a little bit, but I'm not sure exactly how. Come up with that, because that's the core of what this is. But yeah, I mean, ideally, there would be there would be more continuity stuff that we would kind of have probably to put in there. But that's not going to be the core of the story anyway, because there's shows that do that, but I think they're kind of bad when the first episode doesn't have its own story. And it's just, we're going to show you a bunch of stuff, and at the end, something's going to happen, and then the series really starts. I thought it'd be good to actually have a story for this one that we can, that you do, and the other stuff is kind of that leads into the attack and story, long-term stuff wise, doesn't overrun into the point where it's just pipe laid for the season. That has its own story. So that I don't think we need to have more series information, even though ideally you would work on the series as a whole a lot longer and then before going into each individual episode. But as an exercise, I thought we have enough to try to break an episode of it. Especially the first one, where that's why I kind of thought the first one's a good idea, because you don't have to worry as much about what's happening in this episode before and the episode after. All you have to do is get from introduction to kind of the inciting event of the series story. So it gives you a lot more freedom. It's probably make the 4th episode of this or something. You got to worry a lot more about what happened in the 3rd episode, what's happening in the 5th, and the 6th. And I think that makes this task harder. I think you want to make something starts off relatively easy. But yeah, so I think
I'm just
yeah, go ahead.
I'm just wondering, I don't know how we would fill Act 2 in an interesting way to keep the story just like wanting to see what happens next.
Well, let's just say, for example, this is a random thing. I'm just trying to use one that we wouldn't use. What if Jay stole something from Tara, and then the second act is him about trying to keep that secret, and Tara trying to find out who stole it, for example. And as you do that, you learn more about Jay and his brother, and more about Tara and her husband and their dynamics, and Tara's place perhaps in the tribe. That being example, the story has nothing to do with the continuity after the attack happens. That's totally meaningless. Who cares about it? Okay. Something steals. But for that episode, that's what it's about. And what you would do is, in the aftermath, in the introduction up here, so your and what I do is I probably, we got this thing up here. I'm gonna start moving this up here. So for example, you got this thing here. So you move this. Let's kind of put this. It's probably font's too small. I don't know. Let's leave it. Whatever. We'll move them up there until we have. So for example, we got the thing here. This is the teaser that kind of gets the person engaged, because you want to have. So let me add something else here. So you want to have introduction to the tribal chief. You want to have whether or not you want to have an indication, somebody scout reports or yeah, Scout reports a lead on another small tribe to attack, right? So there's some hint that there's another tribe, and then so as you're watching you kind of know from trailers and stuff, that's this tribe. And the only question is when is it going to happen? So that kind of gets so the whole episode has that hanging over it while the whatever the plot of the particular episode is going on with. So that'd be something else I would go put in there. This down a little bit, it's a little too tight. There you go. There you go. This is so what if we did that? What if we did so this is another thing we have questions that we probably haven't answered that maybe we should. We can kind of answer them as we're going along. Jay and his brother, they're refugees. Like, do they have foster parents or where do they live in the tribe? Are they just kind of is Jay just kind of taking care of his brother? Is like what's happening with them? Because maybe Jay can steal something and he's doing it for his brother or something. For some reason. But that's a question because you're introducing them like what's their situation if they're refugees, you know? That's the question.
Maybe it could even be um this is day one of them being at that refuge. Like they like I don't know, maybe
Well, they just arrived.
they just arrived. I don't know if we want to make it like the appearance that they came from that earlier attack, or they were from an attack that happened before the one we see in the cold open.
Mhm.
Um, but that they're just now getting into this tribe and trying to find their place in it.
Okay. I can see that. I can see. Yeah, why don't we? That's an idea. So let me add this. So let's move them out of the way for a second. Let's put them over there. And let's add in uh Five scouts return with refugees from refugees. They arrive refugees. We don't know what they're from yet. And okay. And then among the refugees are James. Among the refugees are J brother. Okay, so yeah. Oh, I should probably. Oh,
I gotta follow along on my screen because I realized when the video records, it records what's happening on my screen. So like if you're writing and stuff, I'm like, oh
oh,
crap, none of that's being seen.
okay. Okay, so we do that. Um, that's an easy way of doing this. And we could for the husband and wife, we can just have them like, you know, tastefully having sex in their house or something. that. We have that there. I mean, perhaps at least part of the episode can have to do with what to do about the refugees, whether or not there's space for them there.
I was just gonna say that maybe that's Tara's intro, and she's kind of like against them being there, and it that if the episodes kept going, that would be kind of the ironic thing. She learns that she enjoys Jay being part of their tribe type of thing, but she could be like, because you're saying one of her characteristics from the character chart is like she's always kind of like argumentative or um, just always combative, and that could be one of her things. It's just she's just like, we don't have room for this. What are we doing with like additional mouths to feed?
so we have perhaps have a meeting about it, and then oh, that's oh, sorry here. So also perhaps Tara will bring up cultural differences and concerns. I think that also might be part of it. Because maybe I didn't speak the exact language, maybe a similar one, but it's a little bit different. So there's a speech
Yeah.
issue. Um, and then Jay speaks up about being able to help and um steps up to kind of speak for to speak for the refugees, to speak for the refugees, even if it is you and they burden. Maybe also kind of threaten, says there are dangerous people out there, like, uh, mm, think, oh, I think I could move this to, I think Act 3 would just be entirely basically the attack and the aftermath. So just put those there. Um, Let's see. So we have, oh, there it is. Here's a reference up here. Let's go look and kind of just look at the, what you call it a little bit. The thing. So it's a little bit different because you kind of having the introduction to the entire series at the top. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking the problem we've kind of created here, if we use refugees, is that they're the problem is that the refugees are a burden on the tribe and um kind of resolving and brings the question of what to do about them. The one natural fun and games comes to me is seeing Jay trying to perhaps do things to show his value and not being very good at it. So, he's trying to, I don't know, like some of the hunting or um cooking food or something. Perhaps he tries a bunch of different things and and some of the other people do too, and it's not going very well. And at some point they say, okay, if you all can't, and then the raising the stakes would be at some point, they can't do enough, they're going to send them away. Like there's some test or there's something that raises the bar in some way. And um, the what we can have happen actually, we can have them actually fail. And they come back and they fail, and then they're there like, okay, well, you know, we're going to we're going to have to cast you out because this is not working, right? You're not learning the language. You're not able to do the things that we do in order to survive. And maybe even as that's happening, the attack starts. And there you go. That's an idea.
Now, we thinking this attack is happening in the day or at night? Because I was picturing it at
Mm,
night.
maybe at night, but I think that makes more sense, in terms of it being a sneak attack.
Yeah.
Um, and being when they don't expect it. Now, that would make sense too because there's a meeting and the meeting's going on. It means maybe there are fewer people on patrols. Maybe it's dusk or something. And there's also fewer, the meeting's called to address this issue. And so the trader knows that. And so he lets them know that, it's a better opportunity to do it because we have a lot of important people aren't going to be out. They're going to be doing this bureaucracy stuff. And you can come in and, you know,
And what do you think the time period is between when the refugees get to the camp and the attack happens? It should be a length of time, right? Or it's not like
we need it to be.
instantaneous.
We need it to be because we got a whole episode to do. So it's gonna be some length of time because we can't be
Yeah.
big. That won't work because I'm thinking it's like a month or something. It's some period of time. It's
That's great because like even in the fun and games, maybe just in passing we can have Jay talk about, or maybe even Tara talk about it's like a small glimpse into the trader, like he's adapted and he's actually now with the patrol, like the scout crew, and that's how he helps sabotage it,
mm,
because he's out there with the scouts, um, I guess messing up the intel that's coming in. But I do like that, yeah, like it's more than they've been there for a while, and Jay's just been sucking for a while.
yeah, exactly. see what Jay tries. He tries hunting. Um, maybe agriculture. Growing some. I think some tribes only do one thing or the other, but let's assume this is one that's more versatile, so we can have more different things.
Yeah.
He tries
It,
hunting.
it'd probably be like fun to have maybe for the hunting part that's Tara's husband trying to show him so that he at least has like some interaction with her husband and maybe we make her husband kind of like this nice character that we kind of feel bad for when he does finally die
Yeah,
because he's kind of shown like he's trying to help out Jay and his brother. When Tara speaks up against the refugees, he kind of like back at home, he's just like, I don't see a problem with them. Like we're
yeah.
trying to help people who need the help type of thing.
Mhm. I agree. That's a good idea. Agriculture, cooking. Um, maybe fishing. We'll grab something right back. Right back. Google something, see if any other ideas here. Hmm. Oh, making tools. What else? Weaving clothes. Tools, weaving clothes. Um,
Maybe there could be a moment where Jay tried something, wasn't very good at it, but at the same time he's trying to teach his brother the thing he just learned, like say it was like hunting, and he's got like they're like playing around or something. And he's trying to show him the moves that Tara's husband had tried to show him. Just like, yeah,
sure.
yeah, and you do it like this. You just wait, hold your breath, and then shoot the arrow type of thing. Just to maybe show like how much Jay cares for his brother. And he might not be picking up the stuff very well when he's being taught, but some of it's retaining and he's able to kind of pass it on to his brother.
Okay. All right. Trying to see what else in here. Trying to teach brother stuff. Scene. So let's go back here. So okay, so let me add this here to this scene. So um decides that each refugee has to prove their worth on their own merit. On the next full moon, the next full moon,
These people are cold blooded.
well, I mean, we don't know how plentiful the resources are, though. I mean, they've got to
Yeah.
survive, you know. And the thing is, too, is it's not though if they can't stay there, they're cast to death. I mean, they're aware of other tribes. You know, it's not like they
Yeah.
don't. You know, what I mean, it just means that you got to go out and find somewhere else to live. Like you can't stay with us because you can't integrate into our society. It's not like they're saying, you know. And so on the one hand, it's a little bit cold blooded in the sense that you have to show some value. But the thing about Jay and his brother too is that they're kind of they're kids, and so it's almost like you're asking somebody to adopt them. And so Jay is trying to act like an adult, but he really isn't yet. And so that's part of his
Yeah.
challenge. With other people, if you're an able-bodied adult, you should be able to find somewhere to do something. You know, it's not. It's a matter of a blanket acceptance, or no, it's actually you gotta whatever you have to find your place here. If you can find a place here, which you should be able to if you put your heart and mind to it. Jay and him is kind of like the kids. Somebody has to almost like adopt you. And so Jay is like, no, you have to adopt me. I'm old enough. I'll be a man and kind of you know whatever. Because
And
otherwise,
maybe we could show that like resources are tight, like
yeah.
they're sharing like a tent with a bunch of other people. Um, like when it comes to like the community meal time, there's like barely anything for them to eat.
Yeah. So for kids.
Hey, but once everybody's dead, that opens up some new spots. So
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that's the joyful defeat, I suppose.
yes.
Uh
Oh, there is room in the community now.
there is room now. There's barely a community left, but there's room. Okay.
And like you were saying earlier, that might be a good raising the stakes is Jay screws up and steals something and that just escalates it to more like oh they're definitely going to be kicked out.
Perhaps I don't know if we need him to actually steal at that point then. If we're doing this, I don't know if we need
Okay,
to ding his character that way. Um,
gotcha.
you know, it'd be different. This like if we're giving them a chance, it's almost worse if they're just there and they're just, you know, delinquent or something. But if he's coming in and they're trying to show their worth, that that almost it almost seems young. Now, one thing could happen is his brother could steal something. You know, he's younger, you know, it doesn't have really have, you know, much, you know, whatever. So that I think the brother stealing something is a possibility because that's, you know, a little more understandable because they're, you know, resources are tight. Maybe he's hungry, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe Jay's brother steals some food from Tara or something. Hmm. Um, maybe an establishing scene of Tara and her husband among the tribe before the refugees arrive, perhaps. Let's see. Yeah, leads directly into that scene. Tribal meeting about what to do. That goes on pretty long. Okay. Hmm. So we're seeing. So how do we? This happens somewhere along here. Somewhere during the second act. That happens. Just a little bit wide. Um, okay, this is kind of general fun and games up here. Let me move this up here. Up there for now. Okay, so opening scene for the second act. That introduces this the paradigm we're going for here. The fun and games of them trying to oh, here's something. Almost like a continuation of the last scene. A tribal chief
What
or
was
something.
that?
I was thinking like we're trying to introduce kind of the sequence here of different things going on. So the fun and games. So thinking tribal chief introduces the various entities within a tribe that refugees may want to participate, may want to contribute to. Um, hunters, the we'll say the growers, I don't know, farmers, hunters, I'll say farmers. What do we call them that? Hunters, farmers, foodsmiths, cooks, the cooks. Cooks, uh,
Weaponsmiths.
weaponsmiths. Say warriors too, like fighters. It's called different than hunters. You know, or guards, warriors, guards, hunters, farmers. Because hunters like use traps and arrows, whereas warriors, guards are more so melee combat. It's a little bit different. Um, Clothing makers. Says here then says to be a hunter. Starts off with a hunter, and then like you said, like Tara's husband steps up to offer to train him. Vexes her um Vex your other refugees, pick things. Other refugees making choices. And then Jay says he wants to be a hunter. Okay. All right. All right, game's over. Let's see here. Stuff down. So we're kind of using that stuff now. Okay. So thinking like a montage of her husband trying to teach um, hunting skills to Jay. That's those traps. Don't trigger or trigger too soon. And then probably might be more stuff, but eventually, seeing Tara's husband telling Jay after a week that he just isn't ready to on yet. And then Jay has to kind of let his brother know it's not working out too well. And this one, then I'd probably go with more of a general montage of like everything else. So you have, you have that. Move this down. Okay.
Yeah, the fishing would be pretty funny.
Yeah, montage of Jay. Other stuff, failing that too, Okay. Food is inedible. Clothes that don't look right or fit anybody. Fit anybody. Um, uh, can't catch a fish. Ooh, wait, that. Montage interspersed with scenes of Jay defeated, returning to returning home to share failure with um, brother, sometimes including props like burnt food. That back and forth again. Okay, so that's the first half of the second act, or the first part of it, because it might be more than half. So then I've kind of done this. So then we have here the raising the stakes. And so there's something, some kind of test that Jay has to do that if he fails, maybe it's just the last thing. Maybe there's one more thing that like if you can do this, then that's fine. I can't, I think what it would be. Could be one of the things we already used. We could take it out and use it for the raising mistakes.
Yeah. Or even if it's not one of those tasks, maybe he screws up during they're having like a ceremonial dance or something, and he does, I don't know, maybe something that he made doesn't work in the ceremonial dance, or um he does something during it that interrupts it.
Hmm. Okay. Let me think. So yeah, something like that.
Or like you said, it could even be Jay's brother. Um, on top of Jay failing, maybe something else happens with his brother that is also pushing them over the edge.
Yeah, I mean, it could be
And it's
both.
it's
You do both. Let's see. Because it kind of like as he fails is more things. That's kind of also raising the stakes. So it could be that it's kind of like kind of times going on, and we could have, I think uh you know uh Ye has trouble learning tribal dances. This is maybe move this down here. We'll put the brother thing in there. Oh, I probably just put this here. This is kind of a, oops, it doesn't work. Um,
just a quick search here. There's different types of dances they could be doing. Like there's a matchmaking dance that maybe like somebody's getting married or something, and the whole tribe does a matchmaking dance, and he's part of it and screws it up. Some of these I don't even understand. Slippery dance. There's the sun dance, a world renewal ceremony that offers prayers for welfare of the people and for the increase of their resources. Men adorned with elaborate body paint pledge to dance and fast for 4 days.
that's more like a note down here. Yeah. I do it this way. So this one, no, don't. Oh, where did I put I'll copy this. Okay, so catches Jay's younger brother stealing from her food pot, but uh, that's sympathy. So it's I put it that way just so it's like you get an indication that oh and then and then Jay learns about it and kind of freaks out like not gonna be able to you're gonna get us kicked out. There it is, way down there. Um, okay, so it's the end of this. I'm going to do the thing for the end of the second act. It's uh, place. Okay. So yes, this is the scene where they're going through and saying, okay, it's been a month, it's been this month, this period of time, and you haven't found the place. So I think we're gonna have to, so we can't, I think we're gonna have to, you're gonna have to find, somewhere else to go. We can kind of tell you where you might find other tribes that might be able to take you in, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. Tribal chief is a news to adult that home scouts will try to happen. Oh,
The moon thing might be a good way, like when writing out the episode too, is to show the passage of time. Is like maybe
mhm.
every once in a while when he comes back to his brother defeated from not succeeding at the task that he's offered.
Yeah.
Just in the background, you have the phase of the moon just changing.
Oh yeah. I wrote that down. One thing I was thinking for Jay is that they're gonna, because Jay is not an adult yet, that they're gonna say, well, you weren't able to do that, but you're not an adult yet. So we'll have to try to find a family that can take you in. Um, if you can, or you have to try to plead your case to these families and see if one of them. And Jay instead says, "I'm not going to do that. We'll just leave." And so he and his brother storm off as the attack is, and then the attack starts shortly later. And that's one of the reasons why they got caught, because they're out there, and they have no chance because they're come right
Yeah.
upon bad guys, and they just knock them out quickly, take care of them like that, and just capture them. They
And
can,
that's like that could even be like the first people we see getting attacked is them.
yeah,
And then it moves into the camp.
do that.
Do we need to show anything for Tara in this second act?
Not sure, maybe. Think
Um,
about it for a second. Let me
yeah.
tell you out where you can brainstorm, and then we can do that. First sight. That's okay. Okay, you're talking about Tara here. I want to see
Yeah, what
something
do you think? This feels very J heavy,
It
minus
does.
like some of the interactions between Tara and her husband.
Mhm. Oh, well, one thing is we could do is, oh shoot, be right above. Nope, roll this down. This can be scene of Tara's husband telling Tara about what happened. Of Tara discovering that. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know about like a whole separate storyline for her. Like, I don't, but surely we can tie her in a little bit more into this other stuff. But it does feel like she should have some sort of runner or beast or something in here. I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll figure it out once. Maybe we can because there's not much left for this act three. Um,
Yeah, yeah, Act three is very straightforward because a lot of it's going to be just a
yeah.
bunch of fights and clashes between like you would see like that's going to be down here, so you would see you know
Maybe the first sign of the attack on the tribe is like you see some of the people are still there. They're talking about the people who are staying and who are leaving, and all of a sudden just like an arrow comes and hits one of the elders. And then it's like that's the first sign of the attack on the village. Oh, it's 10:15, isn't it?
Ooh.
It'd be great to see like maybe Tara's husband is pretty good fighter. Um,
Mhm.
but there's just way more of the Comanche people than there are of guards that they have.
Yeah, interspersed with individual with the individual scenes. Oh, yeah. Battle. So, and then we can put in some individual stuff. So you can say, ah, yeah, there. This Tara's husband, uh, takes arms, and we see him like valiantly. Truly, enemy tribe's leader. 18 kills me. That, spell that. Still misspelled it, but close enough. Um, at first is I'll say this. We may have to worry about the Act Two thing with Tara too much, just because the Act
Mhm.
Three, her and her husband are the mainstay. Because Jay and the
I guess
brother
that's true.
in the second third act, they're knocked out at the beginning,
Yeah.
and the episode is about what happened to Tara and her husband. Um, as the bell turns. Actually, see that. I'm gonna have so there's a big moment where Tara and her husband kind of separate and say, say be safe and all that stuff. Uh, as the battle begins in earnest, Tara and her husband plans to defend control. Yeah, so they just said, well, we do this and that. Okay. We see the Trey Traitor. Ah, G. See against enemy a stand still. So yeah, it's kind of like he's fighting, but you don't really see him kill any of them.
Yeah.
He's just
Just
fighting.
to help like deceive people think that like,
Exactly.
he's
He's
actually
playing his
helping, but he's
part,
not.
and they don't know. Like
Yeah.
the guys don't know, and he's adult, so he can fight. And so he's just fighting, but he's fighting in a way that I'm not in a hurry. I'm not worried about the fact that they're about to win. I'm just fighting enough to I don't get killed, right? Keep my back
Yeah.
against the wall and just spin people off. Just don't get myself killed. So that's you see those two things. Actually, I should probably put it after that. Put that after those two. Let me move that down. Oops, not that one. This one. So when the set the intersperse thing starts, and then you start seeing a couple of different shots, different people. Um, uh, 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 the tribal chief, and the older, I think the elders uh, way to safety. Oh, we also see people getting kidnapped. I should
Yeah.
put
Oh,
that.
that's true. Yeah. What do you think about because we have like Sarah's trying to no, not Sarah, Tara's trying to take people to safety. What if the
Mhm.
tribe has like a protocol where if there is an attack, there's a certain area that they meet up at, and she goes there, and when they get there, when she arrives there with some of the people, they find there's more of the Comanche people waiting there for him because that was part of what the trader did is they told him where they would like rally
Mhm.
to.
Mhm.
And so that's like she goes there with a group of people, a lot of them get slaughtered, and that's when she starts taking up arms to fight.
Sure. Okay. Of course, with people with safety. We haven't changed that.
Just to introduce a little bit more of a betray,
For
like
sure.
some aspect of the traitor betraying them.
Sure. Uh, hmm. See, first of all, safety. Beauty, she arrives so enemy chief sees that they have taken operation by the tribe after his fight with was I would say after being wounded in his fight with Tara's husband. Sees they have taken a lot of prisoners, but the tribe was still fighting back, so he orders them to withdraw with what they're getting. So it's kind of like he's hurt. Like, let's just go. We got enough.
Yeah, time to get out of here.
Got here. So what do we need to show in the aftermath? So we show the tribe chief survived. I don't know. What else do you think we need to see? I don't know.
The traitor, but
The
but
Trader Song,
maybe like when we show him, he doesn't have like a scratch on him,
right? The Trader
so he
survived.
kind of. But nobody notices it because so much crap is happening.
Yeah. So he looks like he's been in a fight, but he just doesn't actually
Yeah.
have injuries. Apparently, I don't know how to spell despair. According to this thing, because it will tell me how to spell it. I can right click on it. It can do anything. Uh, ARE? I don't know. No, it's pair. It's DER. This, yeah, DES. That's it. It's DESPAR. I know the pair part is the despair. Despair. But it sounds like an I word, it's despair. Yeah. Mhm. Well, it looks like there's a whole wiki called ncpedia.org, which is about, I guess, native colonies. What's this called? What's this? I Googled and just found this. What's this called? It's called NCpedia. NC Educators. Oh, this is the Encyclopedia of North Carolina. Okay, never mind. I didn't know. I was trying to think native colonies. What does native NC mean? It means North Carolina, which of course was a colony. Mm. But yeah. Actually, they said that the history of American Indians, so-called American Indians in this, okay, before European contact is broadly divided into three major periods. If anything, call them American Asians, if you're going to call them anything like that, because they're from Asia. But anyway, broadly divided into three major periods: the Paleo-Indian period, the Archaic period, and then the Woodland period, which would be what we're dealing with, where it's like 1000 to 1600 AD, or 1000 BC to 1600 AD. Wow, that's a long time. Dang, that's 2600 years. That's a long stretch of time they're talking about. Wow. So this is Encyclopedia of North Carolina, edited by William S. Powell. Okay. Anyway, so yeah. Anything else? We got the trader. We got them. Oh, maybe show Jay and call it captured. I don't know. Maybe we do. Maybe we don't. I'll write it, but we may decide to stay with the tribe's location and not switch. But say perhaps show Jay and his brother with the other captured people in um think that yeah.
Man, I wouldn't even mind that if it was like after Tara finds her husband, roll the credits and then just throw it in at the end.
Okay. All right.
Do some like Marvel post credit stuff.
Perhaps TV shows hard to do that because what happens is some TV
Yeah.
they actually cut the credits and syndication or whatever, especially with streaming, just cut them off. So you probably have to do it just it's the last moment. So you see her and then cut to what like to remind you because you basically the whole third act you haven't seen them. So just remind you
Yeah.
to them at the end of it. There you go. Right. So I even have to. So theoretically, the next step to this would be to actually write a full on outline of this. Um, Honestly, I'm not even sure I've done all the work in Zoo's course for that.
What's
So
that?
I'm not even sure if I have to go back and look. I don't even remember because essentially once you're doing that, you're sitting here and you're breaking every scene in this into kind of what happens in every, like what kind of go back and forth what characters are there because this is still kind of basically the high level outline or the storyboard and then then you have to go and take every scene you have in here and break the individual scenes and write them out. So that's the next thing. I don't know that we necessarily want to do all of them. Maybe for the next session we could choose certain important ones and try to break them rather than try to do all of them.
Okay.
I think that's a good thing. And then that might be the last one for this. Like just do that. We have a full kind of story breakdown here, and then we can just do some kind of for uh just for as a you know what's the word I'm looking for? I want school words. Exercise. There it is. As an exercise, just break a few individual scenes because I think that's what you would do is you do the outline and then okay, this scene you have these characters. When does the scene start? When does it end? What basically what's essentially said by everybody. Even if you don't actually write the dialogue, what essentially everybody kind of says. And some of these I think are close to that. Other ones I think are much more general. Um, and so you want to like one I think we might do would be like the meeting about what's about the refugees. We go in and really break down the different moments of it and where it comes in
Yeah,
and
it'd
where
be great. Like maybe like while you're working on one, I could write one and we'll just pick different ones we're interested in and we'll just start writing them out.
yeah, and just try to just break the different parts. Again, I have to probably go back and do some. Um, and what I might do honestly is I think this is an off week. I think this is a non. This doesn't conflict with the other Tuesday. Maybe let me see. Maybe skip next week, and I might do some more work on the things. I need to get back to that because I've got so much stuff going on. I grinded through like halfway through it. Like I got into basically in towards the end of the case studies, but I can get to the stuff after that. So go back and do some more of that, and then come back and we can do kind of a last one of these 2 weeks from now, and then we try to do scene break and do yeah, individual scene breakdowns.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, and what I think honestly for this going forward, like after for next year is because people talked about this, and I think this might um, make this have more utility for people. Is people come with something they really want to do, and whoever that is, people can more than one person wants to do it, then more than one person can. But they come in and say, okay, I have this idea, or I have the storyboard, wherever they are in their process, and they want help with it. Then the writers room kind of convenes to have them, and they'll lead it. Like I'm kind of leading this, I'm writing everything down, and whatever, and you're giving suggestions, they would be leading it. And so whoever that is, they're the person that is going to probably bring material, have to control the board. And other people in the writers room are like they're considering they're the showrunner, right? Or if it's a movie, the
Yeah.
movie, what you want to say. And we're just giving them ideas. They just kind of give a presentation of what they have. And then they solicit ideas and you try to fill out a board, or if they have a thing and they think, okay, can you help me make it better or whatever it is, but kind of then do that. And so they can be at different points in it. Kind of so it kind of has more utility for whichever writer wants to utilize it.
I like that. And would you be okay also like since you kind of came up with this idea, but if we wanted to have two writers room like mocking writers room that way, like if somebody wanted to have like a Friday nights writing
Yeah.
room, and they were like Lindsay was saying she preferred to do comedies and like say that was like the Friday night comedy
Mhm.
mock writing room.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, so
Okay, and then because
I just
I
want
got
to get
three
this going.
storyboards we can put up.
It was something else I think that I thought there was a need for but I don't have to be
Yeah.
in everyone, or I can come in and just listen to people and help out if I want to. But I want it to not be about me. It's about having this idea, wanting to give people a chance to do this, because I think this is the stuff they're trying to teach us how to do. And so
Yeah.
I want people to have a place, because for me, once I get to the point where I'm writing, I'm not really worried about that. To me, it's making great stories. I think that's the challenge, because I can write a mediocre story. That's not a problem, right? It's about trying to make something that matters to me and will matter to others to watch it, and and to me, that's figured out at this point before you even start writing fade in. That's what I've learned from 20 years of trying to do this. Is in my spare time, is that's I can write a screenplay, but writing a good one's a different story. Writing one that's worth reading is a different story. So yeah, but yeah, absolutely. That's the ones we do on Friday, or they want to do, because that's what I want to do is kind of after this, is once we've done the 1 and 2 weeks, is after that, just start soliciting, talking to people that we are the email addresses for, and say, hey, this new idea of like, whoever the showrunner is for that particular writer's room, they can pick the schedule. It doesn't have to be this is on Tuesday. We can have a set time as a default, but
Yeah.
if it's your story and we can get some people to do it, then they're available, then they can do it. Now, there's certain days I might be available, certain days I'm not, but it's their story. So when they're available is when they can do it. Well, a standing one that people that maybe certain people can come almost every time, but it'd be different person stories. But it's you can certainly have more than one, but I don't want you having to do too much either, though, because you're the one right now setting up these meetings and using your account. So
That part's easy, and might as well utilize the account as much as we can.
right, but yeah, I don't want to overburden you either, though. But appreciate that. But yeah, I want to. That's a nice thing to do for people. So yeah, I think that's the plan. So after about this is gonna be second week in November, then I'll just say, hey, if you've got something you want to do, we're gonna just set these up for people, and then you kind of solicit to get other people to join your session. Somebody says, okay, I want to start one on Fridays. Well, you probably want to a week or two ahead of time try to find people that can come those Fridays. And once you have a few
Yeah.
people, then you start it up. So you just start them, kind of spin them off individually. You start generally soliciting for it, and then interest, and then once you got some, then you come with the date and time, so you can get people for it, and if you can get, and really you only need like the showrunner and 1 or 2 other people to help you brainstorm, and that's so it doesn't need a lot of people, and but once you get that, you can go ahead and start them and do 1 or 2 sessions, however many you think you need for the process.
Yeah. I found this very enjoyable. It's an interesting way to create stories.
Yeah, no, and I mean this is what it's what I want to do for. I want several different ideas, stuff I've worked on before that I want to go through and kind of do this for. And so let me do an exercise with some folks and just kind of help me kind of churn the creative juices that way,
Yeah.
be something accountable to, because there's so much going on. It's easy to just not do stuff, I got 4 or 5 different things, one being my job, and then
Yeah.
different stuff I'm volunteering for, political stuff. I got other creative stuff. So it's just so many things I like to do. So it's easy. Something
Yeah.
that no accountability for is easy to just put it off. So let me make myself do this so I can, apply some of this stuff and see how it goes.
That's the hardest part, is the discipline of just doing it. Just constantly like making something that's kind of just like a hobby into like a job type of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, especially because it, doesn't pay. There's no
Yeah,
real forward movement. It's just you sitting there trying to create on your spare time and motivating
exactly.
yourself.
Yeah, only intangible benefits your own satisfaction from having done it.
Yeah.
There is. Like I'm proud of the stuff I wrote, even though I don't think any of us were making. I'm still proud that I did it. It's just that I want to see if I can make something better and have something that I'd actually be comfortable, showing people, that's showing somebody and saying this I think is good, Because one thing to make it, another thing to say, other people have wrote something good, and I want you to read it. I think it's worth your time.
Yeah.
Or worth paying somebody to read it because you think it's that good and so close. I think that means a lot. If that's something you think is worth $1,000 if somebody read it, you better think it's good.
Yeah. Better not be wasting their time and your money.
Exactly. But all right, so let me save copy of the sucker. Let me see here. It's cool here. I know you're gonna have the recording going. Let me to export to. I think PNG was actually more helpful. Current page. Let me scroll out. And it's good because you can kind of come up with kind of a format. I was kind of doing that in real time, but that's kind of cool to be able to. Oh, that's the max. Okay, so it looks like we used about 0.5% of this total board. I scrolled out all the way to like 2%, and it's like a yellow
Yeah.
dot in the middle of the screen. Like that's it. So you could put so much stuff in this. That's hilarious. That's hilarious how big this is. And that's not even the
I'd hate
small
to see one
font.
that's
You
like
can go
filled
smaller.
out.
No, that's insane. But yeah, so let me see. Yeah. I don't think
Oh,
that.
there's even a mini map. I didn't even see that. That's pretty
Where's
cool.
the mini map?
Right next to the magnifying glass. It looks like a Google Map thing.
Oh, that's funny. That is very helpful, actually. But yeah, one thing I might do is actually come up with like a template, like using some of this stuff. Like we have like I'll have a whole horizontal row for characters. So it just goes all the way across. Like one line is just that. You have a top line
Yeah.
like brainstorming, and then and kind of comes down, and the bottom level is the act structure. And then, or not the bottom line, but that's one line. The line after that, that probably be the last thing for the board because and then if anything, you would have like sequential, like maybe scene templates or something going from left to right. So you would say, okay, let me fill the scene, what happens in it, blah, 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 blah. Like almost like kind of like the index cards. You have those, the same thing or a more complex version of that. And you would have those below you that are, on kind of on that you could then fill out and put on a board below that. So it's kind of like almost like a triangle. So it's like the story is expanding out as you keep,
Okay. Yeah.
but it's different structures. So it's one structure level is the act structure. And then the bottom two structures are probably the act structure is very basically like this, that's written here. And then the level below that is like the same act structure, but bigger. So you can put actual cards in, write whole cards for every scene instead of right now it's essentially single or a couple lines for every scene. It would then become a whole card. And the card I got a book about that. You put what you put on the card, you put like how it starts, how it ends, the emotional transformation, what changes, all that kind of stuff you put in the card. You put on that and you put in the cards and you would do that. But yeah, you would start at the top with like a character idea, different type of things for ideas and ideas. But anywho, that's something that's interesting. Like this is kind of like this construct that's kind of getting organically created. But all right, let me raise my hand. My hand's raised. No. So anyway, I just wanted to do that and see what happened. All right, man. Well, I think that's about it for today.
Cool. You
All
said we're
right.
gonna skip next Tuesday?
Yeah, skip next Tuesday and then pick it up. I think was it November 7th? Yeah, November 7th.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Well, also, as far as the recording thing, if you want to do that again, you can, but please don't spend more than a couple minutes editing. I don't want you to spend too much time on that. It's not a big deal. I don't know how many people. I wonder if people actually watched it, probably like four, but don't spend too much time. Just maybe chop out
Yeah.
the beginning before we start. That's probably about it. Everything else you can probably
Yeah, I'm,
do.
I'm gonna chop out the start because I think I was on there for like 5 minutes. It's just like
Oh,
I'll clip that crap off and just
yeah,
start
yeah.
it right when you get in.
Okay. All right,
Cool,
man.
man.
All right, you have
Thanks,
a good
Mike. Have a
time.
good one.
Talk to you soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Now press the button.